What's up, my friends? I'm actually looking for my goggles. I always use this little headlamp because it's dark in here, and well, sometimes it's just so much easier to have the light on top of your head and have your hands free. Anyway, moving forward with the build, what I'm planning on doing today is probably adding some support in the back that I'll also use as more or less like a holding board for now, extra hands, and adhering plywood to plywood, which is, applying some wood glue and then small screws to hold plywood perpendicular to the other sheet, and then applying the third sheet going the, at the 90-degree angle, and all fitting in more or less into this brace that I am preparing, and I'm going to do that right now. So you wanted to see more of it, I'm going to walk you through it. I'm not doing a 4K because otherwise my memory in my phone goes kaput, but you'll still be able to see most of it in HD. So let's do this. Yeah, you might find some of this lapsed and whatnot because it really is monotonous, and I stand and think a lot before I actually act on whatever next step may be. As they say, measure twice, cut once, otherwise there'll be a lot of rework and stuff. Not to mention we'll waste material. So let's do the support for the back, which will end up helping me stabilize the walls, and an additional part that I haven't really told you about, but now that you're gonna witness the setup, I kind of have to reveal the more or less surprise new design that I'm going to implement. Let me move over here. I'm going to implement this new design in here to utilize this area to its fullest potential, and what I have in mind and what I foresee. Let's just say, well, why not? Joe, the king of DIY. I've mentioned him a lot lately, but he is the to-go-to guy. He's actually beat me to it recently. He's going into a large enclosure with decor sticking out of the tank and whatnot. So he didn't beat me to it as in like, he has done this before, but he's now really experimenting with some cool decor. He's fortunate enough to have aqua decor, represent him or whatever, fabricate stuff for him custom. So it really looks awesome. I'm going to for something similar. Basically this enclosure, I'm going to leave it open, as in apply some other, areas to, maybe we can incorporate some live plants and a little waterfall instead of just typical water filtration exchange type of thing. We'll see how it goes. Still far away, but let's just say it's definitely, it's an idea that's has conceptualized in my head a long time ago. I called it a river tank, and it was supposed to be a different shape, like a long tank, but this area doesn't really permit that. It just allows for me to utilize this corner over there, more or less. So we're gonna improvise. Still gonna be more of a dynamic tank, but a tank now that sort of goes out of the ordinary lids and canopies and that kind of stuff to more of an open look with some decor actually interacting with the room. So we'll see. For now, let's do the support and put the plywood down and hope everything goes well with that, because it's heavy as hell, and yeah, it's just me. This has to come out a little more. And I know you guys have mentioned the wheels, so did I, but at this minute, that's just added cost. Each wheel's like $15 for the ones that I need to use for this type of weight, and the installation of it just, let's just say, it adds another area of failure. I don't know how this is going to behave with 1,300 gallons in there, or 1,250, 49, and all the glass and everything else. So I'm just gonna keep this as stable as possible for now. If anything, need be, I can drain the water, use a jack, lift it, install wheels, and be done as well. Anyway, for now, yeah, the backbone, I call it, it'll help me sort of support the plywood in place and everything else. obviously first I have to adhere the plywood to plywood, so let's get the backing in. What's up, buddy? You came to help out? Yeah, yeah. A little helpy helper. And you just helper. Okay, let me get those 2x4s cut up. So hang on a minute.
You're gonna get me out of it.
I'm not even sure if you've been encompassing the whole thing. I'll set back a little more, even so, because I have a feeling I'm chopping everyone's off. Oh, just doing a wide angle. Why did I just do that? Yeah, that's easier. Wide angle, my friends.
Are you gonna take me out of your video?
Yeah, I'll take you out of the video. Definitely. Right. Okay, so I got these 2x4s cut up and prepared, more or less. I left them as long as possible to obviously not hit the ceiling, so I can still move this about as I attach it later, and give me, you know, some extra room to work with. Even though the plywood won't be as tall as this, I may be using this to tie in the whole structure together. So I'm going to be starting something like this. Obviously starting with this side and going to the other side. I'm also contemplating whether this is the right time to tie it in, as if once I put the plywood in, that should help kind of square things off. I'm going to start from the back in as I run out of space and screws probably. Solidify this. Later on I'll plan a few more, maybe extra long, couple long beams just in case, but I don't think there'll be any really need for it to hold the water in, as it will hold on, the walls will hold together properly. That's a volt tools, 18 volt. I don't think they make those anymore. Even for battery replacement. Swiveling up. Hey buddy. Checking out the pipes. They work. It's all good, bud. Leaks. First watch. So. Whew. One second. Sweating bullets, yo. Anyway. Safety shirt off. I know it's not water change day, but I'm hot. Even though it is way cooler down here, like barely 70, yeah, actually it's 70 here, 69 normally. So okay, this is my, more or less, this is the, you know, structure that's going to hold everything back. The plywood's going to be, you know, adhered to each other, but also lean kind of against these posts. And I'm going to later utilize these posts to tie everything together from the top, and, you know, the rest that I've mentioned earlier. So, different angle for a second. Yeah, sure, why not? Actually, that's a better angle. Okay, so there it is. We got this part done, which is really not much. Cutting a couple cuts, tied in, but we did run out of almost every screw. So I'm going to move towards the plywood section. What I need to do is set the plywood down and tie the other one perpendicular to it, edge to edge. Because you see, I gotta tie the plywood on a seam. So could tie it in this way instead of this way. What would be a better solution? Let's think about this, my friends. How are fish tanks built? Is the glass on top or next? I believe it's on top. It's placed on top of the glass, not next to the glass. So we should do the same. Place the plywood on top, not next to it, right? I don't know, what do you guys think? It would certainly make it easier for me because I could tie in the plywood from the side without having to crawl under at all. So place the plywood, place these plywoods first, then these, tie it in, and cut off the excess. That's what I was gonna do. Like I said, it's a one-man army, so I gotta take like preemptive measures to make sure that I can actually go ahead and build this correctly instead of rushing. Just because I couldn't do it one way, I did it the other, which it wasn't the correct way. And we all know how that goes sometimes. So let's see. Let's just try it out. I'm gonna bring in I'm correcting the plywood. Here, I'll show you. I've been correcting the plywood with some weight. Of course, there's tons of stuff in here, but what I did is I placed some sandbags and some other things, which I just recently moved as I'm cutting, but to take out the bow and the plywood itself. I'm hoping that it actually worked. As you can see, there's a little bit of gap there in the middle. I braced it up right there, and it's definitely sucked a lot of the bow out. It seems that it has corrected some of the, bowage, which I really wish there wasn't any bow to begin with. It was perfectly flat like the two other pieces, but my dumb ass trying to save a few bucks. Actually, it was more like I was impatient to wait for a whole nother pile to get taken down from ceiling because there's no one around to help you, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, well, let's work with what we have. Let's do this. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to place this sheet right here first. As such. It should stay. But I'm gonna use my brace to secure. Oh, there's my headlight. Son of a. See, I was looking for it. I'm just gonna grab this so it doesn't flop down on me. Other than that, that's what I'm going for. This side, and then I'm gonna slide in that and tie in everything from the side. Much easier since, like I said, working solo. Okay, I'm gonna grab this piece and do the same thing.
Here we go.
Basically, where are you? Recording?
I didn't know I had to follow you.
Yeah, you will go everywhere I go. Like a filmmaker.
Great, a new job.
And now I gotta choose the better side, as usual. They both look very nice, actually. So it really doesn't matter. But I do admit that one side looks slightly better. So, The idea here is to work out with a nice smooth area, surface area, I guess I want to say. So the pond sealer sticks or whatnot evenly. And there's no holes or whatever. Some reason for it to leak somewhere. All right. So that's the sides. Not going to trim the height at all. Actually, wish it was a little taller, but it's okay. Now this is the crappy plywood that's really bowed. And I'm second guessing whether I should use it at all or just go back to HD and replace it for the same as this. Simply because the little bit of, bow may result in some sort of leak, but I'm not sure. We'll see if I step on it, put it down, if I could flatten it and then tie it in from the side or whatnot. What I'm gonna do, I might drop a couple screws into the frame to hold it down. I wasn't planning on originally screwing it into the base, just in case I wanted to move this thing someday. I can move it in 2 pieces. This will hardly fit to any doorway, so that idea might not necessarily stick. I might screw it into the base after all. Let's see. Okay. So I'm going to lay it out this way so I can move about through here a little easier. I believe. And once more, trying to choose a better side. Obviously, the flat side down or the boat side down. But it'll be harder to bring in the plywood any other way.
Oh,
Yeah, good enough.
my finger.
I hope that I'm good. Yep. Just enough. Okay. So voila. We'll tie that first before I place the second one. And then I'm going to cut off all the edges, obviously, but here we are. It's starting to look like something, right? I'm probably going to run a couple of reinforcing beams through the middle, post, whatever you want to call it, just to solidify everything in. Then I'm going to have background, 3D background and everything else hiding it anyway. To me, as I mentioned, integrity and functionality before anything else, but yet with the little bit of creativity, you can get the aesthetics to hide everything, really make it look natural, like out in Amazon River. That's our goal. Get you to it. All right, so I tried to basically work with what I have, as I said, but this plywood is teeter-tottering. Now what's worse, I don't weigh enough to tie it in. I'm thinking maybe I should tie it in here and then here, but as you can see, it keeps on bouncing sort of, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to use this plywood at all. It's just a few dollars difference between this sheet and this sheet, and it makes such a difference in obviously calibrating everything, lining everything up. So looks like a trip to HD is in the near future. For now, we're gonna kind of leave this as is. Like I said, I don't want to rush it, so I gotta take this back, get some new ones, etc., etc., and then start or keep going. We're gonna tie in these walls, use glue, use some screws, then the bottom, and adhere it just the way we, pretty much described earlier from the outside in. We'll see how this goes. First trip to Home Depot.